Saturday, April 7th, we are having a volunteer fair. This is designed for all nonprofit organizations, community clubs, sport organizations and rec leagues, anybody who's looking for board members, volunteers to help with your events, coaches, team players. It's a chance for organizations to come together, meet the community, for the community to come out and see how they can get involved to help make this place a better place. So why do organizations need volunteers? Why would you want to get involved? Well, if you want to see your Grand Forks Fall Fair be a huge success with more vendors and more exhibits and more contests, more happening, it takes people to make that happen.
Well, you can't do anything without volunteers around here. Everything's a success by the number of people you see volunteering, the love that's put into it, the smiles. It's a success the second we have volunteers.
So we really like when volunteers can come out and help with our events. The Chamber of Commerce puts on some events, and if it weren't for the volunteers that we have, we couldn't be as successful putting on movies in the park and sponsoring other events that occur around the area. A prime example of this is the Grand Forks International.
The GFI is probably the largest event that we have running in the Boundary. It runs for 7 days.
They require a ton of volunteers.
We could use upwards of 300 volunteers to pull this off.
A ton of volunteers.
We have 27 games running over the 7 days.
There's anywhere from guest relations and helping with ticket sales to the Hardball Cafe and the Right Field Tavern.
Volunteers only need to work 3 4-hour shifts or 2 6-hour shifts to get a tournament pass, which lets them come in at any time throughout the whole tournament.
So when you look at a long event like that, you need a lot of volunteers to make sure you don't get burnout. There's lots of organizations too that require boards, and a board of directors, sometimes you have mandates. So our mandates are we have to have a director from each area within the Boundary region, no less than 5 directors and no more than 9 directors. So that again requires new volunteers all the time. A position lasts for 2 years and you have to replace all the time. So other nonprofit organizations are very similar to that. You're going to have someone who's in there for a couple of years and eventually they're going to start to burn out and we're going to need new volunteers to come in. So how does the volunteers benefit both the event and the individual? Big one for us is that the volunteers, without you, the event wouldn't occur.
Well, you can't do anything without volunteers around here.
Without volunteers, you can't do much in the community.
Because we can't pull this off without the volunteers and the commitment from the community.
So that's the big one for the organization. The organization can't exist. You don't have a board, you don't have coordinators, you don't have events, you don't have teams. Without volunteers making that happen. But for the volunteer, it's a great way, especially for new people to the community, to try and engage with your community, find out what's happening, get involved.
And when the volunteers come in, they're the ones that really help make things happen.
It's also one of those I hear lots of people saying, oh, I wish there was more in Grand Forks. I wish that there was more in Midway. I want soccer for my child, or my kid's really into figure skating. All of those events occur and all of those different leagues and sports leagues occur, but they're all run by volunteers right now. So if you want your kid to have more sports, get out, get involved in your community.
How volunteering helps make the event a success?
Volunteers help make our events successful. Just for one, showing up, being there and helping put them on. There are a lot of facets that have to come together and a lot of moving parts to make an event really successful. You need everything from advertising, promotion, ticket sales. You need the bodies and the people to come out, and once they get there, they want to see something. So we need volunteers to set up bouncy castle, putting on the food displays, getting the vendor market. Someone has to be there to organize all those vendors and getting them all in all the right spaces so that it's a nice, clean atmosphere for people to walk through, see everybody, and feel that they were fulfilled with what they were looking for. So for example, when you put on something like a Market Street block party and you have 15 vendors come out, just to put that event on can take anywhere between 4 and 8 volunteers just to make that happen. Fright Fest last year that was put on, 3 or 4 key people overall, took over 25 volunteers to make Fright Fest happen last year.
Rotary Lobster Fest, without volunteers, 3 people can't do it.
So when you come out to an event and you go, oh, I wish it had more, or I really liked this, but I wanted to see something different, that's where we need you. So if you want our event to be successful, if you want to come out and see more events happening in the area or to see new teams expand and grow, we need you to come out and be a part of it.
If you're interested in volunteering at the GFI this year and you can't make it to the volunteer fair on April the 7th, feel free to pick up a volunteer sign-up form at Thistlepot Gifts, the Grand Forks Gazette, FarmSafe, and The Source. And then we will gather them from there and give you a call. Thanks.
Just to add my 2 cents in with this volunteering thing, here's the thing. You'll notice I'm wearing this shirt that has to do with the fire and rescue people, and that's almost all the volunteer service. And what I have to say about volunteering is this: if you're new to town, if you're going through a new stage in your life, like you just retired, or you have a child that's just entering school age, that's a new stage in your life where you have new things that you want to get involved in. If you're new to town, you want to meet people and find out about the community. You want the community to find out about you and what you can do, and you want to make friends. Volunteering is a great way to do that. It also gives you a boost. You're retired. Now what are you going to do with your time? Got a hobby? Maybe there's other people who have that hobby. Come on and volunteer. What could be easier?